Hello, hello, hello. This is Daaro DS, and welcome back for more Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 1. And we just hit a major twist here as we see a name on the cards, and the name doesn't really make sense. It's Satoshi. And I think something crazy is about to happen. Let us continue with this. Oh my god. What's gonna happen? What is gonna happen? Satoshi. Satoshi? Not all the cards were made by us. Or at least every card besides this one has the name of the club member. Does this mean that this Satoshi fellow is a member? Was there someone in the class named Satoshi? Satoshi? I couldn't find anyone named Satoshi in our class roster stuck up on the wall. Being rushed by Rena, I finished up quickly. Satoko and Rika-chan had already headed merrily for their lockers, so we were the only ones left in the classroom. Right now, Rena had already gotten her bag and was ready to leave.
Rena, やっぱりこのクラスからも転校で出て行っちゃった生徒って結構いるんだろ?
I tried asking Rena in a bit of a roundabout way. Rena made a troubled face and then answered.
ひなみざわって田舎でしょ? 転校していっちゃう人も時々いるよ。
じゃあ、このサトシってやつも転校してったのか?
ごめん。よく知らないの。
There was a bit of a pause, and the answer was pretty much immediate.
その、意地悪で言ってるんじゃないの。ちょうど去年、レナが転校してきてから入れ替わりだったかな。だからあんまりお話ししたことないの。ごめんね。
I am not sure, sorry. Her answer was a lot like when she refused to tell me about the murder at the dam. I was saddened by her denial and felt a little bit of anger. I'm their friend, aren't I? Friends don't keep secrets from friends, do they? Although I do appreciate that they keep that unsettling curse thing from me. But if everyone is worried about it, I'd rather be worried with them. That's what it means. That's what it means to be friends, right? For a moment, I wondered what kind of face I was making just then, with these mixed feelings of sadness and annoyance.
ケイチくん、怖い顔してる。なんでだろう。なんでだろう。
It was probably exactly the kind of face Rena said it was. It appeared my grim expression had frightened her.
あ、ごめん。今日の部活楽しみにしてたからさ。残念だっただけだよ。
I wrestled Rena's hair.
帰ろうぜ。
Dragging that awkward mood with us, we headed home. I wonder why. Why have I been getting this dumb feeling lately? I didn't know anything. I had nothing to worry about. I was just enjoying my everyday life. My long, outstretched shadow gave no answer to my naive inquiry.
ケイチくん、疲れてるのかな。
Rena timidly questioned the reason behind my mood. I'm sure my expression made this situation even more unsettling.
そうか？
うん。今朝からケイチくん、なんだか元気ないよ。風邪かな？
Physically, I was pretty sure. I was pretty sure I was in perfect health. Perfect health. It may not seem like it, but I have had a perfect attendance since elementary school. Rena continued on since I didn't give her an answer.
きっとケイチくん、引っ越しの疲れが今になってきたんだよ。前に住んでたところとは全然違うところだもん。いろいろ慣れたり覚えたり、疲れて当然だよ。
そうなのかな。
うん、絶対にそうだよ。レナも最初そうだったから。わかるんだよ。だよ。
I wondered if Rena also experienced the slight bit of alienation last year that I was feeling right now. Thinking so, I felt that she was the only one who could understand how I felt.
レナがひなみ沢に転校してきた時の話が聞きたいな。どんなだった？
Feeling I had been drawn into conversation, her face suddenly brightened.
ケイチくんと同じだよ。人の名前も村の中も全然わかんなかった。みーちゃんとかが親切にしてくれたから全然寂しくなかったけど、やっぱり心細かったよ。
Rena told me all the details of when she had moved here. All of her first acquaintances and surprises, worries, and good times.
じゃあレナもサトコにやられたのかよ。
うん。椅子に座ろうとしたら画鋲が置いてあったの。どっさり。そしたらそれを懐かしいな。
ミオンの部活にはいつ頃誘われたんだ？早速初日にか？
うんうん。最初は部活なんてなかったんだよ。
Mm.
途中からできたの。放課後にみんなで残ってゲーム大会をやろうって言い出して。
そういえばミオン初代部長とか言ってたっけな。納得。
内緒だけどね、みーちゃん最初は弱かったんだよ。全然勝てなかった。
ミオンが？ちょっと想像つかないぞ。
自分で言い出した罰ゲームほとんど自分でやってたんだよ。本当に内緒だからね。
I can't believe Mion was like that. So she gradually transformed into a monster who used any means of necessary to win it during that time. Mion is at her best when she's fighting dirty.
みーちゃん以外ともちょっとずつお友達になれて。でも、ケイチくんが引っ越してきてからかな。ようやくここに馴染めたって自覚したのは。
I guess Rena had also been left in the dark about Oyashiro-sama when she had just moved here. I guess when they finally told me about Oyashiro-sama, I'd be considered one of them.
俺はいつになったら仲間だと認めてもらえるんだろうな。
なんて言ったの？
あ、いや、ごめん。独り言。
ケイチくん変なの。
Rena was poking fun and laughing at me, and I couldn't help but laugh as well. But then I suddenly stopped. Then, after making up my mind, I spoke.
なあ、レナ。みんなは俺に嘘や隠し事なんかしてないよな。
してないよ、全然。
嘘だろ。
Rena suddenly stopped. Her expression was cold and intense.
どういう意味だろう。ケイチ君。
Her tone was still the same cheery and lighthearted one as before.
してるよな。俺に隠し事を。
After understanding what I meant, her expression grew even more intense. Seeing that face, I regretted saying something so rash. But she came back at me in a way I didn't expect.
じゃあさ、ケイチ君。ケイチ君こそ、レナたちに嘘や隠し事をしてないかな。
え？
Her tone didn't change, but it was the first time I'd seen this expression from Rena. With how her gaze pierced through me, I couldn't even believe this was the same Rena.
してないかな。嘘や隠し事。してないかな。
You are. Secrets. She didn't usually say that part, but she looked as if she did. The incident with Tomitake-san and how I felt alienated from the group. Even without having to think about it, there were things I knew and that I felt guilty about. But I didn't tell everyone about what happened to Tomitake-san, to be considerate. I was keeping it a secret, just the same way they didn't tell me about Oyashiro-sama. Then, aren't we even?
してないよ。嘘も隠し事も。
嘘だよ。
Her answer was instant, and it shook me. Rena stared, as if burrowing through me, watching me like a hawk.
どうして嘘だって。
ケイチ君、昨日の部活の時、先生に呼ばれて職員室に行ってたって言ったよね。レナは知ってるよ。ケイチ君は職員室になんか行かなかった。
I swallowed hard. It clearly wasn't a bluff. She knew what happened.
先生はお客さんが来たって言ったんだよね。
Oh my god.
でも昇降口ではお話ししてなかった。校門のところの車の中で話をしてたよね。知らないおじさんと。
Rena knew everything. She knew that I was called out by Oishi-san and that I heard the incident with Tomitake-san as well. Did she know all of it?
誰？あのおじさん。
知らない人だよ。
知らない人がなんでケイチ君に用があるの？
俺が知りたいよ。
じゃあ何の話をしていたの？
みんなとは関係のない話だよ。
That was a lie.
嘘だ！
Rena's scream echoed throughout the trees, sending frightening birds into the air. I couldn't exhale the deep breath I had just taken. No, it was like I wasn't allowed to exhale. It was here I first realized. The person in front of me, she wasn't Rena Ryuguu. Then, who was this standing before me now? Who had assumed Rena Ryugu's appearance? I held my breath for so long I couldn't feel myself. I could feel myself suffocating.
ね
And then she made a facial expression that Rena normally might have made. Didn't matter that it was Rena's usual smile. It chilled me to the bone. She drew closer to me. Closer. I felt her breath against my face. She wasn't at the least bit exciting. Whoever this was with Rena's face was going to chew off my nose right then and there. Was going to chew my nose right off. I cowered as I imagined that. Then she smirked, as if she was able to see right through me.
圭一君に内緒や隠し事があるように、レナたちにだってあるんだよ。
That was Rena's usual smile, but her eyes were like that of a hawk's. Bringing her face close enough to mine to almost bump into my nose, she kindly persuaded me. I couldn't nod or shake my head. This person standing in front of me, this person who looked like Rena Ryuguu, frightened me to my core. I was terrified, knowing that she could hear the sound of me swallowing nervously. After what had felt like an eternity, after a long empty silence, she finally spoke. Finally spoke.
行こう。だいぶ涼しくなってきたよ。
But it was Rena again. Smiling at me once more, she started walking as if nothing at all had happened. When I was released from her gaze, my legs gave out from under me, and I slumped onto the ground. I wasn't able to lift a finger until Rena was out of sight.
あれは誰だったんだよ。
I felt cold. My body was drenched in sweat. I was finally able to form a coherent thought and asked myself once again, who was that person? Who looked like Rena Ryuguu? I was out of it, and I couldn't bring myself to do anything until dinner except stare blankly into space. Was I terrified from Rena going off on me? No, that's not right. That was someone else who only looked like Rena. Then, who could it have been? It was a dreadful feeling. Knowing that it was someone else. No, knowing that that was someone else, not Rena. So tomorrow I shouldn't have a problem talking to Rena like I usually do. That thought was strangely comforting. I concluded that I should just calm down and clear my head. Though, those thoughts continued swirling around my mind. Finally, I returned to my senses as I heard my mother calling out to me from the bottom of the staircase.
ケイイチ、本屋さんから電話よ。
Bookstore. I can't think of why they'd be calling me. I went downstairs and picked up the receiver anyway.
夜分遅くに申し訳ありません。私、沖宮書房の大石と申します。
大石さん？大石さんじゃないですか。
ごめんなさいね。ご両親が出られたので、本屋さんということにしておきました。警察ですって名乗ると、いろいろ気分を害されるでしょうしね。
Oishi-san was, in his own way, rather courteous. Even so, I didn't want my parents hearing me talk to the police. I brought my cordless phone with me as I dashed back up to the room on the second floor.
夜分遅くにすみませんですね。実は昨日渡した電話番号のメモ、あれ古い番号だったんです。本当に申し訳ない。これから申し上げる番号を控えておいてもらえますか。
あ、はい。どうぞ。
He gave me the number from his direct line as I wrote it down. I thought that this was the end of it, but he began making pointless small talk, and it was pretty hard to hang up.
さて、どうでしょう、前原さん。何か変わったことはありましたか。
I see. This was the real reason. He really beat around the bush there. His adult conversational skills left me slack-jawed.
大石さんはここの地元の方ですか？
ええ、そうです。生まれも育ちも沖宮ですよ。
If he's from around here, he might know.
大石さん、鬼隠しって何のことか知ってますか？
それはですね、人が鬼にさらわれ忽然といなくなってしまうことなんです。この辺り独特の言い回しですね。世間様で言う神隠しと同じ意味です。
Whereas my friends would say they didn't know when I asked, this older man gave me a direct answer. It made me a bit happy that he answered me directly without trying to hide anything.
hinamizawaは、前原さんにこんなこと言っていいんでしょうか。
もったいぶらないでくださいよ。大石さんが言わないなら俺も何も言いませんよ。
ああ、いやいや、そういう意味じゃないんですよ。ただその気を悪くされないかと思いましてね。実はですね、hinamizawaはその昔、鬼の住む里って呼ばれて恐れられていたんですよ。
鬼？鬼って地獄にいる金棒を持った
というよりは人食い鬼ですな。
Oh boy.
里に降りてきて人をさらって食い散らかしてしまう。なんて怖い昔話があるんですよ。
Demons snatching up people is what they call what this Onikakushi really means.
たたりと鬼隠しは一緒に起こるって言ってましたけど、どういうことですか？
I already knew about the mysterious deaths happening 5 years in a row. But I didn't know there were people disappearing for those same 5 years.
たたりと鬼隠しが必ず一緒に。それは初めて聞きました。そうなんですか、前原さん。
それは俺が聞きたいですよ。レナとミオンが話してたんです。お社様のたたりなら必ずたたりと鬼隠しが起こるって。
Oishi-san began hemming and hawing on the other end of the receiver. Maybe something about that came to mind?
前原さん、最初の事件ご存知ですよね。バラバラ殺人。
ええ。6人の犯人のうち1人はまだ逃走中なんですよね。
例えばそれ、逃走中じゃなく鬼隠しにあったんじゃないでしょうかね。
Huh? It was an outrageous hypothesis from Oishi-san. The incident 4 years ago was the particularly ghastly one. The police already knew the perpetrators, so they posted tons of wanted posters with his face on them. They staked out various locations and investigated every possible escape route he had. But after 4 years, there wasn't even a hint of where he might be. Unless the police were completely incompetent. If that was an outrageous hypothesis, even if it was an outrageous hypothesis, I couldn't simply laugh it off.
じゃあその翌年の事故はどうです？誘致派の男と妻が一緒に事故死したんですよね。
実はですね、正式には事故死したのは夫だけなんです。妻は死体が上がりませんでしたから。
Oh, wow.
現行法では死体が発見されない限り行方不明扱いなんですよ。
At the time of the incident, the river below the cliff being muddy rapids, the police divers had searched every branch of the mainstream of the river for dozens of miles, but in the end, they weren't able to find her body. They weren't able to find it. Ghastly, right?
でも死体が見つからないだけで亡くなったんですよね。鬼隠しとは違うんじゃないですか？
死体が出ない以上亡くなったとは言えません。
I agree with him. Not gonna lie. It's police 101. If they can't find the body, you don't know if they're dead or not. It's like a missing persons. You don't know if they're dead until they find you.
法律で定めた年月が過ぎるまで生存扱いなんです。
I'm not sure if it was right to call that being demoned away. The wife is missing. At least that part it was reality.
3年目はどうなんですか？神主は病死、妻は自殺ですよ。
前原さん、実はね、これも全く同じなんですよ。
The wife had supposedly thrown herself into the bottomless marsh deep in the forest around Hinamizawa. Meaning it's all circumstantial evidence. They simply found her suicide note on the front marsh. The diver was able to recover a few of her articles, but they were unable to find the body. Investigative headquarters believed that she had faked her death and was still alive somewhere.
これらを鬼隠しと呼んでいいかちょっとわかりませんがね。前原さんの言う通り、確かに毎年一人行方不明になっています。
今年の事件では富武さんの連れの女の人が行方不明。じゃあ去年の主婦の撲殺事件はどうです？誰か行方不明になりましたか？確か犯人は逮捕されたんですよね。
ええ、逮捕されてます。以前に逮捕歴もあるやつでしてね。別件で取り調べ中に犯行を自供してます。ですがですね、犯人逮捕からしばらくして被害者宅の子供が行方不明になったんです。犯罪に巻き込まれたのかどうなのか、現在も捜査してます。
だって犯人は捕まったんですよね。それともその仲間が？さ
あ、多分単独犯だと思います。もっとも今では確かめようもないんですよ。実はその男、取り調べ中に拘置所内でお亡くなりになっちゃいまして。
He swallowed his pork and choked to death. It's not knowing whether it was an accident or suicide.
つまり 過去5年間必ず死者と行方不明者が一人ずつ出ているわけなんですよね。
そうなります。いえね、私も驚いていますよ。こんな共通項には気づきませんでした。
I couldn't believe that this could help lead to the closing of those incidents. There was just something they had in common.
例えば鬼隠しにあって失踪した人には何か共通点があるとか。
Oishi-san mumbled as he seemed to be thinking about it. So I summarized the events.
1年目はダムの作業員、2年目は誘致派の男の妻、3年目は神主の妻、4年目は被害者宅の子供で、5年目は交際相手かな。特につながりはなさそうだし。
1年目はともかく妻とか交際相手とかそういう人が目立ちますな。
It does seem like there is a lot. That means the fourth year's victim's child was different. It would have really stood out if they were all married couples, except it's not just married couples with parents and their children as well. Come to think of it, I believe Tomitake-san also told me the younger brother is alive and has moved, if I recall correctly.
4年目に行方不明になった子供ってどんなだったんですか？
おとなしい感じの方だったらしいです。年はあなたの一つ上です。名前は北条聡さん。
え？サトシ？
I remembered that name. Did they tell me that Satoshi transferred out last year?
あなたの学校に去年まで通っていました。話を聞いていませんか？
Come to think of it, when I transferred in, I believe they said my seat belonged to a recent transfer student. Then, where I sat, once belonged to one who was demoned away. It was his seat. I recalled the cold sensation that came from that desk. It made my hair stand on end. This string of mysterious deaths, no, Oyashiro-sama's curse, I now knew how it connected to me. That chilling sensation, it was the feeling of Oyashiro-sama's caressing the back of my neck.
お社様のたたりか。
Could Oyashiro-sama's curse really exist? In all honesty, I was beginning to believe it. And I was scared. That was why I wanted to say it. It was a plot crafted by man and not the work of a curse. But the more I dug into it, the less likely that seemed. No, the more I dug, the more mysterious it became. If I kept digging, eventually, I'd reach the point where I'd learn something I really shouldn't know. To either be none the wiser or seek an answer I may regret. To which one I would be happier with. Maybe it'll be me next time. My execution could only be delayed for 1 year. Then, that was when I remembered. Rena. Rena said she may be the next victim of the curse.
竜宮レナさんがですか？去年転校されてきた前原さんのクラスメートですよね。女の子には刺激の強い事件ばかりです。怖がるのも無理ないんじゃないでしょうかね。
It wasn't that. She said it might be her next. She said it in a way that made me think she had a concrete reason behind it.
もっと確信じみたものだったように思います。なんていうのか、その。
She was frightened. Her sudden change in demeanor. That someone who looked like Rena but wasn't Rena. That might be unrelated. That might be unrelated. All these strange things that I felt from Rena today came back to me.
そうですか。ではこちらでも少し調べてみます。前原さんも少し竜宮さんの様子に注意してあげてください。
それはレナを見張れってことですか？
そんな意味ではありませんよ、前原さん。お友達が次の被害者にならないよう少し気にしてあげてほしいということです。
At that moment, just as my mouth was agape because I was so impressed with its mature, clever way with words. Oh. A sudden knock at the door sent my heart racing. In an instant, I had pointlessly covered up the end of the receiver.
Keiichi, ちょっとここを開けてくれ。
On the other side of the door, I heard my father's oddly upbeat voice. What could it be? It's so late.
すみません、親父が来ました。今夜はこれくらいでいいですか？
ええ、夜分遅くに本当に申し訳ありませんでしたね。何か分かりましたら教えてください。こちらも進展がありましたらご報告しますよ。では失礼します。
ケイイチ、早く開けてくれ。父さん、両手が塞がってるんだ。
What is Dad doing? If I had stayed in the same position while on the phone the whole time, so my joints were aching. When I opened up the door, I saw my father was standing there with a tray. What are you doing with the tray, Dad? On that tray, cookies and 2 cups of black tea and a fairly fancy spread for our household. There was even sugar and lemon slices on the side. Everything you could ask for. This was quite the show of hospitality.
何父さん。それ何のつもりだよ。
もうはぐらかすなよ、ケイイチ。入るぞ。
Dad was in high spirits and had a smirk on his face. But for my entire life, I have never seen him act this hospitable. What had gotten into him?
で、何の話をしてたんだ？
I jumped. It's not something I had to keep from my father. But how could I explain it to him? I was talking to a detective, assuming he was, this late at night.
別に何も。友達だよ。
電話の話じゃなくて、来てたんだろう、今。レナちゃんが。
Okay.
来てないよ。
もうごまかさなくたっていいぞ。さっきレナちゃんが遊びに来てたじゃないか。だいぶ話し込んでるみたいだったからお茶でもって思ったらすれ違いだったんだよ。
I had no idea what Dad was talking about, but a cold sweat dripped down my back.
どのくらい話し込んでたかな。
レナちゃんが2階に上がったのが半くらいだったから小1時間くらいかな。
Oh my God.
2階に上がったの父さん見たの？
ああ、見たよ。ケイイチの部屋は階段を上がって奥の扉だよって声もかけた。
Rena came to my house about an hour ago. Dad met her at the door and called out to me on the second floor. I probably didn't hear him because I was so focused on my conversation with Oishi-san. I didn't reply, but he knew I was in my room, so he had her come inside. Then he told her my room was on the second floor. She thanked my dad and went upstairs. Then about an hour passed. She passed by my dad as he was bringing up tea and left. She came upstairs, and about an hour passed, then passed by my dad and returned home. Then, after she came upstairs, and until she left, where was Rena? There's only a short hallway between my room and upstairs. Meaning, Rena had, for about an hour, in the hall? No! She couldn't have been standing in front of my door this whole time. The door to my room wasn't peculiarly thick. You could easily hear everything that was being said inside. All of the unsettling and unguarded things I spoke to Oishi-san about began rushing through my head.
お父さん、あまりからかっちゃダメよ。それよりアトリエを片付けて。またこぼすわよ。
Mom yelled at Dad from downstairs. Dad left the tray with me and went downstairs with a disappointed chortle. I followed my dad out of the room with my eyes. I looked down at the floor around the hallway where Rena might have stood about that time. Just now, as I was talking to Oishi-san with my back turned, Rena was standing a mere 6 feet away the whole time? Oh my god! In this dimly lit doorway? What did she see? What did she hear? For what reason? As the steam from the two teacups ominously wafted and twisted, the aroma of the black tea filled my room. Well, shit just happened. Okay. Rena, what the hell? I hope you guys are ready for this, because I don't know if I am. This is going to be the last craziest part of this. Oh my god. Okay, so we are going to save right here. The end of chapter 8. As things are not as they seem here in Hinamizawa. Things are not as they seem here in Hinamizawa. Kind of got some goosebumps. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we learned that Rena Ryugu is not who she thinks, not who she says she is. She may have her own demons to battle. And Keiichi has got to stop to not as maybe in the rabbit hole a little bit too deep. Thank you for watching another episode of Higurashi no Naku Koro ni When They Cry. I think this is episode 11. Or this could be 12. Who knows? But this is one of the craziest episodes I've ever had to been a part of. And we're still not even done yet. Anyway, this is Daaro DS, and I thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you want to watch more of Higurashi When They Cry. And I will catch you guys on the next episode. Stay tuned, and have a good night.